Welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is Robert. You guys know my pal Susan, but you may not know my new friend Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Debbie, we had the amazing meetup the other day. I'm going to let you tell where we met, and then we'll start to talk about that. Where did we meet?
Yes, we met on Main Street in the Magic Kingdom in Disney World at
Mhm.
about mile 11 of the marathon.
Yeah. So
And
was it
go-
your first marathon or no?
no, I have run 3 other marathons, but 8 years ago, 8 and 13 years ago, this was my first dopey. I was doing the dopey.
Wow.
Wow.
And so for those who
Wow.
don't know the dopey, that's the 5K, followed by the next day the 10K, followed by the next day a half, followed by the next day the full marathon.
Correct.
Whoa.
So what motivated you to do the dopey?
So, well, it's an interesting story. I've always wanted to do that. Running has always been my outlet. It's always been a great way to just release stress and with friends to talk through issues, just relieve the stress of the day. And 2 years ago, I sold my house in Indiana to move to outside of Gettysburg. My elderly parents had a home that they owned, and my dad was in his 90s. He had had moderate dementia. This was during COVID, and my mom was his primary caretaker. And my children are grown, both on their own, and I was ready to sell my house, and so decided to sell my house and move in to help them because we did not. My dad's personality had changed. It would come and go, and it was a lot for my mom. And we wanted him to stay at home as long as possible. They had looked at progressive living before COVID. And then when COVID hit, we were so thankful that they weren't there because we wanted to be able to still see them. And so I moved in with them. And then 6 months, 8 months later, one of the very nice progressive living area just west or east of where they lived had brand new independent living apartments being built. And they decided to move in. Dad understood most of the time what they were doing, but not always. I wanted to stay close, so I moved to Gettysburg, knew nobody. I had a great support system, people to work out with. Gettysburg's a beautiful area, and I thought, you know what? This is the time. This is what is going to be my outlet. This is going to keep me focused. I won't worry. I'll take advantage of the beautiful area and just have a goal out there.
So you got this goal of this large scale running race, which just sounds insane to most people, right, who haven't done it. And perspective is a funny thing because this was my first marathon. It sounded really tough for me. And I'm not going to say it wasn't, but the other side, because I trained well, I was okay. And I'm guessing, you trained well. How did you feel at the end of the dopey?
Tired. My feet bothered me. My legs were tired, but I felt good. I had really tried to stick with the program as much as possible. And I'm in my later 50s now, and I wanted to be smart about it. Right. So I was slow and steady versus how I used to be years ago.
Oh, that's a good, important life lesson right there.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah. And again, I'm not a super experienced runner, but I learned that early on. My first half, I was running fast, proving time-wise to myself, and hurt myself and realized, oh, maybe I should do something different. Read the book Chi Running, slowed down, settled in, and yeah. So it's a different deal. So you get that mindset and you're doing this thing, and this is the thing I'm so about in the same way. It's so much more for your mental than it is. The physical is almost an afterthought. You're taking care of your mind because you're going through this extraordinary time of life. And I'm very similar to you. My parents are in assisted living. I'm living in the house I grew up in. I moved similarly about a year and a half ago to be close. I hear everything you're saying. So what happens next as you're training?
As I'm training, you mean it's time for the run?
Yeah, because
I apologize. There's a train going by.
Love trains going by.
Absolutely. That's the magic, right?
Well, here's what I'm getting toward, because it's gonna lead into our next episode, because as we thought this was gonna bleed in. I'm gonna jump forward. We meet on Main Street, and you are so overcome by what you see me pushing Dad that you stop to tell me the story of your dad passing. And now I'm going to do a little bit of that. There I am with Dad. And that's part of the reason I'm doing that, is to hold on to that moment. So I'm going to put the cliffhanger out there to people and say, you want to hear the rest of this? You're going to have to join us on the next
On
daily.
the next.
Everyone's in tears.